Hello everybody, I'm Kellis Jelly and welcome to the video. Today, as the title says, we're going to be putting on some Kyoshi inspired makeup together and ranking the avatars because, as you know, I am the professional opinion and the end all be all of deciding which avatars are best and which ones go in the poo-poo F pile. Now, I am not a makeup artist. I do not claim to be. This is what we're working with. My personal makeup collection. We're just gonna do what we can with some eyeliner. Also, I'm growing up my hair and I feel like no matter what I do with it, it looks terrible, but I got these little pigtails in today and tell me they look good. I have nothing on my face yet. I haven't even primed it. I forgot to do moisturizer. I've decided it's fine. So let's start with Avatar Korra. Now, I've heard a lot of mixed opinions on Korra. One of them being my wife, and I told her she needs to shut up because Korra is my sweet baby girl angel. So I might be a little biased, but I think that she was a great avatar. No connection to the spirit world for a long time, so she really didn't have any guidance like Aang did. Aang was very spiritual. Every time he needed to make a decision, he'd be like, what do I do, Roku? Korra didn't have that. Baby girl did lose the connection to all the previous avatars. I will give her that. That was a big oopsie, but you have to consider the fact that Avatar The Last Airbender got 3 seasons from the get-go. So Aang only ever had to deal with one problem. Korra had to fix 3 separate giant issues, 1 season each. And she did have like an avatar team, but it was not nearly as dependable as Aang's was either because there was a lot of mixed dating in that team and that was not advisable, but she did what she did. A girl has needs, but she did more. All Aang did was end the war that had been going on in his absence. Korra had been training to be the Avatar for years, and she was really good at everything except air, and then she solved 3 separate, like, world-ending issues. Put her in the A tier because she did not make the best of decisions. You know, severing the ties to all the other avatars, probably not the move, but she would tell you to shut up and sit down if you needed to hear it. She's definitely one of my favorite avatars, probably my second favorite avatar. Can you guess which one one of my first is? My top favorite, my favorite girl. I never said it was a girl. Who said that? Not me. Also, I don't have a mirror. I have the tiny little mirror behind my phone so I can see the preview of my video. That is the only mirror that we're working with today. So again, I do not want to hear it. If it looks terrible, I don't want to hear it. I feel like we already did touch a little bit on Aang. You already kind of know how I feel about Aang. I do think that for an 11/12-year-old boy, we did a good job. I know that it's pale. I have a color corrector, don't come at me. I really do respect Aang for learning all of the elements like in under a year. That's nuts. I understand, but do not agree with his decision to keep Ozai alive. Literally every single avatar was like, you have to make difficult decisions and sometimes they don't line up with your personal code. You're not just a monk, you're the avatar. You need to act like one. And the whole time he's just like, well, I just don't want to hurt anybody. Okay, that's nice. That's a nice thought. But like Yangchen was also a monk. She had no problem doing what she had to do. She was a baddie and you were a baby. If it looks patchy, no, it doesn't. He was unwilling to do some of the things that the Avatar needed to do. How many lives did Ozai take? He killed so many people in that 100-year war. And then the message that Aang sent is, oh, well, that's okay, because you'll just get a slap on the wrist and then you'll just get to live out the rest of your life in prison. In that situation, when you're dealing with a true evil, it's an eye for an eye. I thought I was seeing some red splotches of the color corrector that I missed. Turns out it was just acne, so that's fine. That's fine. Anyways, I think all in all, Aang was a very good avatar. I think that he did the best that he could do when he was 12. Because when you're 12, you don't want to believe that killing people is the right thing to do. I'm gonna put him right up there with Korra at A. Because he could have done better. But he did the best he could. Alright, now we're going to Roku. I got a bone to pick with this man. Roku, if you don't remember, was close friends with Sozin. So I remember they fought. And they did not speak for many years after that. I know that you didn't want to talk to him, but as the Avatar, you should be keeping tabs on a Fire Lord that was getting a little power hungry. You would think. And the whole way that Roku died, he was a fully realized, very powerful Avatar, and he had a personal relationship with Sozin, which they seemingly mended right up until Sozin betrayed him, admittedly. But it felt like there was still love in his heart for Ozai. So I feel like if he stuck around and he kept fighting back against this war, then maybe he could have gotten through to Sozin and stopped the danger before it happened, or at least nipped it in the bud before it became a 100-year war. Could have been a decade, you know? It could have been things that they wrote out in history books, not things that we were still actively experiencing when Aang came around. What I'm not understanding, this is where my bone to pick is with Roku. When the volcano erupted and was threatening to kill that entire town, after the town evacuated, why did you stay on the volcano? Your dragon literally came and found you, and instead of your dragon getting you and leaving, the dragon curled up around you and died with you on the volcano. You easily could have gotten out of that situation. If an avatar dies, at best, you find out the avatar when they're young, but then you don't tell them, I think, until they're 14 or 15. As we've learned from The Last Airbender, it takes several years to be fully realized in each element. Even if you could do that in 2 years' time, which is pushing it, you're not gonna have a fully realized avatar until 21. So because Roku died, that was a guarantee that it was 21 more years before you would have an avatar good enough to fight back with Sozin and that war. And he knew what Sozin was doing when Sozin abandoned him at the volcano. He knew that he was trying to start a war, and he just lay down and died. So I kind of blame him for the war. And he did leave a lot of crap for this 12-year-old boy to deal with 100 years later. And I don't really want to rank him that high because of that. As far as avatars go, I'm going to give him like a C. I'm going to give him a C. He wasn't the worst avatar, but he definitely was not great. Now, the piece that is just... We're going to start working on the eyes. So we just did Roku. We just talked about Roku. Who's next? Oh, the woman of the hour! I feel like it goes without saying where I rank this woman. This woman, she did no wrong. She was perfect. She was perfect. Also, unrelated to being the avatar, she was 7 feet tall, a bisexual. Canonically, that's a thing. She's bisexual, had the largest feet of any avatar, and lived to be 204 or 240 years old. I don't remember which one. But girly was an everlasting babe. That had nothing to do with you being the avatar, but those 4 things are already badass. They're already so cool. And then she had that makeup that she wore. I'm a nerd. I've read the books. I am obsessed with this woman. If you don't have that same level of just infatuation with Kyoshi, it's because you haven't read her books. You really need to dive deep into her books and experience that story for yourself, because honestly, it is my favorite Avatar story that's ever been told. I think it's better than Aang's and Korra's lives, honestly put together. I dig those books. She was not afraid to get her hands dirty. She was not afraid to talk about her feelings. She was not afraid to make mistakes. At all points in her life, she did what had to be done. She was a baddie. She was a baddie. Also, she's in like a gay relationship for 1.5 of the books, and I'm so here for it. It's hot. It was hot. And also, like, the woman who taught her firebending was her girlfriend. Hello? You couldn't ask for better. You couldn't ask for better. So her actual makeup, like, disappears into her hairline. It's all the way, I don't think, this is an inspired by look. This is not a replication of it, but we're gonna be a little wild, and crazy. Don't anybody say anything mean. Don't look at my chapped lips. I'm sorry, I need to drink water. And where's my water? Where's my water? This is why I don't drink enough water. I like go to fill it and I forget what I was doing. And I leave without the glass and it's just full in the kitchen. That's what I get. I get crusty, turtle ass looking reptile lips. All I'm saying is, Aang would not kill a perfect stranger, but Kyoshi, when it came down to it, was willing to kill her childhood friend. His mind was gone, and she took him down. And for that reason, unrelated to the bisexual part, of course I'm not biased because she was a queer woman. Of course, that has nothing to do with it. She's S tier, S plus. Put her in her own angel, perfect baby girl god tier. No one could have done better than her. Also, I think she was the longest living too. So not only was she the best, but she was here for the longest. And she did the best job for the longest amount of time. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna blow through these next 2 because unless you read the books, you're not gonna know much about these characters and it's not gonna make much sense to you, but I'm still gonna rank them anyways because I said I would. So there's Kuruk, which was the water avatar right before Kyoshi. He was rumored to be one of the worst avatars ever. He drank, he gambled, he took delight in all of the earthly pleasures. He was a waste away. But That's how people perceived him. He actually, in the spirit world, day in and day out, when he wasn't in the physical realm, drinking and gambling and forgetting all his problems, he was in secret taking down dark spirits in the spirit world. So a little bit of a martyr avatar, but he was still a very respectable man. I'm not sure why he didn't tell anybody what was going on, but I guess there was no way anybody could help him. And to top it all off, just the cherry on top of this is that Ko, the face stealer, which was one of the dark spirits, stole his lover's face. Because he was mad that Kuruk was taking down all the dark spirits. So to get back at him, he lured his fiancée into the spirit world and took her face. So yeah, didn't have anything else to live for. He eventually lost the battle between all these dark spirits, but he did better the spirit world a lot. As far as avatars go, I feel like I'm going to put him at a B, because there could have been a catastrophe if he didn't do what he did. I honestly think that makes him a better avatar than Roku, because by Roku disappearing, he caused them. So, and the next one is Yangchen. I have not read her second book, and I cannot speak a lot on what Yangchen is like or what she did, but she is a fiery little lady, and she was a very good avatar when she was alive, and she was very well respected. I cannot tell you all that she accomplished, because I'm a big dumb dummy and haven't read her second book, but what I've seen so far is very special. It's very good. I'm gonna put her up there. This is controversial. I feel like Korra and Aang should not get better ranks than the other avatars simply because they had more screen time. I don't think that's a fair way to judge them. So I'm gonna put her right up there with Korra and Aang, because she was a baddie. She did what she had to do. Her life wasn't perfect, though. Up until this point, I feel like she's doing a pretty good job. I have not seen her do any big major screw ups, but for her time, she was a very good avatar, and everybody loved her. And there was a few other avatars that we know of between Yangchen and Wan, the first avatar, but we don't know enough about them for me to make that judgment, so I'm simply not going to rank them. But we're going to talk about Wan. I appreciate him creating the avatars. I do. I don't know, maybe it's just the vibes. It feels like if Jet was the avatar. I don't trust a man like that with that much power. I think Wan was a little too reckless. I think that his recklessness translated into a lot of bravery, and he did something that no one ever did before, but he also tricked a couple of the lion turtles into giving him the elements. Not a fan of that. That was a little crazy, but I guess they wouldn't have given it to him otherwise unless he was a trickster. So they had to write him like that in order to make it make sense. But because he was the first avatar, he was not well respected because people did not understand what he was. So he was not able to bring about a lot of change in his lifetime. I said I was gonna bring this eyeliner down into the corner of my eye. Look what I forgot to do. That's embarrassing. I'm over here putting mascara on like we're done. Like we're done. I'm actually really glad I remembered that, because I kept looking at myself and thinking something's missing, and I think that was it. Don't look at the wings. They're sisters, not twins. I know they don't match, but neither do my freaking eyelids. I have a double on one and a triple eyelid on the other. Now, all we have left to do is our red lip, because you cannot be a Kyoshi warrior without a red lip. We're going to take off all the foundation I got on my lip. That's embarrassing. But anyways, like I was saying about Wong, he was not able to accomplish much because people did not respect his position, because his position was so new. But he did succeed in getting all 4 elements and mastering them, and he succeeded in combining forms with Rava to create the avatar state and to create the avatar cycle, so he would not be the last person to have all this power. And he also managed to subdue Vatu until, of course, Korra had to deal with him again 10 freaking thousand years later. That's nuts. You know what? If Kyoshi is S+, this is controversial, but I'm gonna put Wan at S, because I don't think that he could have done better. He befriended the spirit world, he was well liked there, and he had all the 4 elements, and he taught himself, along with Rava, how to use them. He was very determined, and without him, the avatars wouldn't exist. So I kind of feel like, you know what? I take that back. It is fair. It started out just being my personal opinion, but now we're really breaking it down to logistics. This is the second time I've ever done lipstick, so we're not going to talk about how bad it looks. I am doing my best. I'm doing my best. Go a little heavy-handed. Why is it just this corner that's terrible? Why have you done this to me? Alright, I think that it's going to be our finished look for the day. because honestly, frankly, I cannot do better. I just wanted to talk to y'all about what I think about the avatars. Picked out the only Earth Kingdom colored thing in my closet. Do you like it? It's all I have. It's the only tan and gray things that I own. You like it? You like my white crew socks? White crew socks? Until I die. Until I die. Anyways, I'm not really a makeup person, but I liked shit talking the avatars. Because you know what? I'm not one of those phonies. I'm the OG. I watched reruns of it out of order. At one point, Toph was not there, and then at some point, Toph was there, and I never questioned it. Never questioned it. We loved her so much, we welcomed her. She was baby girl. Thank you for watching. I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye! If you like Avatar Kyoshi, then I'm sure that you're gonna love
Avatar Kyoshi.